Field of Dreams at the end.
Well, that one.
I know. That one I don't get made fun of.
No,
I'm going to cry every time. I mean, Dad, do you want to have a catch? What?
Right.
Oh, gosh.
Right. How do you not, right?
You're not in with his dad.
If you don't cry, you're dead inside.
Yeah, Armageddon gets me. That's the one that gets my friends like to bust me on that all the time. Because when they get off the spaceship and the one guy goes over to the daughter, may I have permission to shake the hand of the daughter of the bravest man I ever met? I lose it every time.
I can see that, though. I don't think you're alone. I don't think you're alone.
I don't know. A lot of people make fun of me for that one. I don't know why.
Interesting. That's okay. You're in touch with your emotions.
I guess I am.
Should we get into it? The
Let's
AMA
do it.
at this moment?
You know
I think we have 27.
We got Annie on the jib.
We have
what
27
up, Annie?
questions.
Shake it, say hey,
with
say
Annie
yes,
on the jib.
up and down. Oh, it was a weak shake today, but good job.
The first one, if you're watching on YouTube, you get to see that shake.
Yeah.
The first one comes from the Derek Quinn. What's with the hate on the Rams? Yeah, they had that bad Super Bowl, but you and Florio seem really down on them for one game. And Sean McVay did come out recently and say that maybe he watched too much game tape and he was over-prepared for the whole thing. But why you down on him somewhat? Why you down on Goff, who played well in the NFC Championship?
Yep, he did.
Why you down on them?
You know, I mean, listen, for generally, I've probably been a guy that's been down on Goff from get-go. I mean, there's definitely been good, and hey, he's proven he can win some big-time football games, played really good in the NFC Championship game. I get that. Do I have questions about him ever being a top 10 quarterback in football? Yes, I do. And I don't think those things have been answered yet. You know, I don't look at it as I'm hating on the Rams. I really like the Rams. I like Sean McVay. I like Jared Goff, the guy and the person, too, and there's things he does that I go, oh, wow, he's got a chance to be something special in the NFL. There's a lot of things I like. My hate, per se, about the Rams is not necessarily about, hating on them or saying they're not a good football team. I just go, gosh, history tells us it's hard to replicate two Super Bowl wins or two Super Bowl runs in a row, let alone the team that comes off the losing side of the Super Bowl. You don't see very losing Super Bowl teams come back and be back in that game very often, right? I mean, here in recent history, I'm just trying to go off the top of my head right now. I have no preparation for this, but the Patriots are the only team I can think about in the last 10 to 15 years who went back-to-back after losing the first one and then coming back and actually winning the second one, right? Am I right about that? Or they did it 3 years ago. They won, they lost, and then they won. So that's unbelievable that they did that. But
you're right.
I'm
you
just
don't
playing
often
that.
see the team, Buffalo Bills back in the day when they kept going to the Super Bowl.
Yes, it's very rare. So that's really I'm just playing the law of averages. That's why I'm down. I know they're talented.
You're
it's a
down
shorter
on them
off
getting
season.
back to the point where they were last year.
I expect them to be in the playoffs. I think the NFC West is going to be better, too. The 49ers, my buddy Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, I think that team is, on the verge of being that playoff caliber football team. And I think the Seahawks got better, too. So I think those are the reasons I just don't necessarily put the stamp on the Rams and go, you're going back to the Super Bowl. You're the best team in the NFC.
I think that's fair.
Okay, thank you.
Capsy91.
What up, Capsy91?
If you could create the perfect pass rusher, what would he look like? What is the ideal size, skill set, in your opinion? Is there a perfect size, or do you just max out all the Madden ratings like Calais Campbell? Make the perfect guy, strongest, fastest guy, biggest guy ever.
I get that, but even Calais Campbell's got some issues rushing the passer. He doesn't have great bend coming around the edge if he's a defensive end or having to do that, kind of the stuff we talked about in the draft process, being able to, dip that inside shoulder and really turn the corner while you're in that position. Also, with having a 315-pound guy push you at the same time, I mean, that's phenomenal skill or talent level there. Okay, here.
Height.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's 6'8", Calais Campbell.
Would you go your ideal, you can choose whatever one, every ability.
6'3".
6'3".
6'3". Okay. I would go about 6'3". Ideally, I think my perfect pass rusher, I'd want him around this day, 268, 270 pounds, somewhere in that range, okay? And I really want a body that's similar to a Lawrence Taylor or a Khalil Mack. which is, you know me. I mean, ass and legs, okay?
Yep.
They got to have a set on them below there.
Powerful base.
Powerful base for explosion first step, okay? Being able to go speed to power. Oh, gosh, I'm not going to be able to turn the corner. Let me put my foot in the ground and let me just put my hands into this offensive tackle's chest and drive him back into the quarterback. You know, those are the two things I look at more than not. But, you know, I think if I had to do a player comparison about how I would want my guys to look, Khalil Mack is the guy that jumps to my mind as far as a perfect pass rusher. Maybe a little bit more length and size than Khalil Mack if I was going to be ideal Madden perfect player type of thing, with maybe a little bit of longer arm length, like 34.5-inch length arm, something like that. But generally speaking, it is the Khalil Mack mold, I think, that I would look for.
They both hit Lawrence Taylor, Khalil Mack, your perfect height.
Okay.
So they're both 6'3".
Right.
So you nailed that.
Yes, right.
You said 270 playing now.
Yeah, they're a little lighter.
Khalil Mack is 250.
Right.
Lawrence Taylor played at 235.
Yeah, that's when he came out in the draft, but I know that wasn't very long. Because, I mean, we could ask my dad when he's on later. My dad says he saw Lawrence run 4.5 on grass at 253. So,
wow.
Yeah, so, you know, that was, I think, you know, college skinny Lawrence Taylor. It only took him like 5 meals to get up to 250, so I don't think it was much. But, yeah, generally there, like, I thought about Reggie White.
Yeah.
Reggie White is different kind of rush defensive end. He's not necessarily your speed guy. He's almost like a defensive tackle / defensive end. But, yeah, he wasn't overly tall. I would say he was around 6'4.5", 6'5", but he was a 290. That's what's amazing about Reggie White. I mean, Reggie White's special. He's ahead of his time, and maybe even ahead of his time now.
Andy had that club for like 6 games that week, right?
I mean, that's another one we could ask my dad. I mean, because there's nobody he sacked more than Phil Simms.
Really?
Reggie White sacked Phil Simms more than anybody.
Couldn't have been a pleasant experience.
No, it was not.
Kind of related. This is from Taryn Caravella.
What up, Taryn?
Would you rather have a fantastic pass rush but below average cover unit, or fantastic coverage unit but a below average pass rush?
Oh, that is a very good question.
That's tough, right?
Yeah, it is. It is. I mean, both, of course.
Neither. You go neither.
Yeah, I know. Both are extremely important. You know, gosh, that is.
What could you get by with? What could you win more games with?
You know, honestly, I think if you gave me either one right now, I might go with the better pass coverage guy than the pass rush. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, the first thing that comes to my mind, you know, the team that led the NFL in sacks this year was the 31st defense in football. That was the Kansas City Chiefs. Tell me how that pass rush worked, okay? Yeah. You know, your pass rush just can't get home all game long. You know, and it's not, especially as the game goes on, those guys get tired. There's only so many times you can just all out sprint 100 miles per hour, push a 320-pound guy around, and just think that intensity is going to last game, you know, 70th play of the game. It's still going to be there.
You think you can sustain pass coverage throughout a whole game where maybe you can't sustain that?
I do, and I think you can, for the pass rush too, you can find ways to manipulate the pass rush too, to go, okay, we're not that talented, but we can run some stunts up front, some certain creative blitzes to make up for the lack that we don't have the great pass rush. And when you have a great secondary, you can take chances on some of those blitzes and things there. You know, I don't know if I would have answered this question the same way 3 or 4 years ago, but I think the last few years with what I've seen from New England and teams like Jacksonville, just to see how coverage is on the back end, it's very important. And the difference between the best pass rushing teams in football and just the middle of the pack is just not that great to me, to where, yeah, I favor the coverage guys more.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I would not have.
I know. I did not think I was going to go there either way. That was a really good question.
Question from Ira Faznarmi. This is back on the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
Top 5 route runners in the league right now. So who would you put in your top 5?
Okay.
It's your Mount Rushmore plus 1.
My Mount Rushmore plus 1. Mount Rushmore's.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see how I'd go here. The two guys jump out to me right away with route running, okay? One is Keenan Allen for the Los Angeles Chargers.
Ooh, okay.
Phenomenal route runner. I mean, that's where he's made his money. He's not going to beat people with speed and things like that. It's his ability to lean and bend and be able to stick his foot in the ground and just come out of a break and not lose any speed. So Keenan Allen.
Okay.
Julian Edelman for the New England Patriots.
Wow.
I mean, off the charts good. I mean, Julian Edelman, again, if you saw him in person, he's so much quicker in person than TV gives him credit for. So I'd go him there. Antonio Brown for the Oakland Raiders. Antonio Brown, yeah, I mean, he's the man, but he's the man because he can run any route underneath the sun and run it at a very high level. Odell Beckham Jr. I'm going to put in the top route running conversation. That's why Antonio Brown and Odell Beckham Jr. are so awesome. Because not only do they have this freakish physical ability as far as speed and ability to jump up and catch 50-50 balls, but their route running is of a guy who's like a well-schooled, I'm not that talented, I need to perfect every route I run.
Right.
They can do all of those type of things. So I look at those two and just go, damn, I don't care that they're superstars and everybody thinks they might be in this answer. They are worthy of being in this answer. So those two are amazing. And then I think if I had to go with a fifth, and there's a few names that have come to mind.
Stephon Diggs, Thielen.
This is it. It comes out and
DeAndre Hopkins.
It's the two Minnesota guys and Brandon Cooks out with the LA Rams.
Oh.
That would be the three. So if you maybe have a top five, it's down to those last three for one of those spots.
Okay.
And my gosh. I think I'd go with Brandon Cooks, but it's a really close one. That's no disrespect to my man Stephon Diggs or Adam Thielen because they are awesome route runners as well. Cooks is special, though. Cooks can do everything. And because he's a little bit of a smaller guy, is able to redirect out of some of those change of direction routes maybe better than a guy like Thielen or Diggs.
And do you have a clear number one, or are they all pretty close?
Gosh, it's all pretty close. I guess if I had to give a guy, I think Keenan Allen's route running is pretty special.
Okay.
I do, yes. I think I would give him one, but damn, it's close because all those guys have a lot of the similar attributes.
Conley Rose,
Yeah.
talking about quarterbacks here. Joe Flacco, Ben Roethlisberger, Aaron Rodgers. Am I crazy to think that they will all throw for over 4,000 yards and all finish in the top 10 in MVP voting this year?
Okay, I don't think you're crazy with Roethlisberger or Aaron Rodgers. I think that's a very real possibility. I mean, I would almost guarantee that Big Ben throws for over 4,000 yards. He might get close to 5,000 again.
If he can stay healthy.
Yeah, if he can stay healthy, right. Aaron Rodgers, I do think you're going to see a jump in stats this year because, one, I think he's got better offensive minds around him. There's going to be some creativity in the offense. I think you might actually see a run game in Green Bay for the first time in about 9 years. So I think that will help his bottom line stats at the end of the day. Now, Joe Flacco's the one I'll say I'm going to throw caution into the wind there. I still believe in Joe Flacco. They got some new pieces in the offensive line. It's a new offensive coordinator. All things I like, but I don't know if I'm going to sit here and just go, oh, he's throwing for 4,000 yards because of that. And I don't know if they have enough talent in the pass game or people around him yet. You know, Emmanuel Sanders' health and where he's at, coming off of a torn Achilles at wide receiver, that's going to be paramount to Joe Flacco's stats and some of the offensive explosive plays that come in the passing game. So I'll say no on Flacco, but the other two I'll say spot on. I like it.
Is Joe Flacco the starter?
Yeah, I think he will be. I do. I do.
Think?
I think for the majority of this year he will, unless it just totally fell apart and all of a sudden they're 2-8 or they're like 2-6, 2-7. Then, but I don't expect that happening because I think Denver's defense is still pretty real, and I think Elway did a pretty good job of kind of reconfiguring that offensive line and getting a good OC and a good coaching staff in there.
Okay, this one is from a roll. And this is where the AMA comes in. This is Ask Me Anything, and so sometimes it's uncomfortable. Some of the questions can be uncomfortable.
Not for me. Nothing's uncomfortable for me.
It
doesn't. But once you throw an interception or a pick six in front of 70,000 people, there's very few things that can embarrass me or make me feel uncomfortable.
Are you familiar with the game F, Marry, Kill? That game where you can kill one person, you marry one person.
Oh, right.
And then you
I got you. Yes.
Another person.
Yes. You F them?
Yes.
Can you say the word or no?
I cannot.
You
No,
can't say that?
no,
It's not
I
in
can't.
your broadcasting journalism school?
It's not in my
Fornication under consent of king?
Yeah, I can't
That
go.
word?
Tom Brady, Odell Beckham, Aaron Rodgers. Wow, interesting. That's very tough.
All right, so wait, it's marry. Explain this to me. Marry, kill,
Yeah, there's not a whole lot to it. Or F.
or F them. Okay, okay. So I am. I am venturing down that lane here today.
It's an AMA. They ask it. We had
Ask
to
me
do
anything
it. We had to do it.
Okay,
And
so
it can be just you respect them that much that
I want to sleep with them and have sex with them.
It doesn't need to
I
be.
respect this guy's spiral so much. I want to get in bed with him and spoon him and just have fun. Okay.
It doesn't need to be necessarily, sexual. It can just be, you respect them that much.
Gosh. Okay. Mary.
We should have skipped this.
This is a tough one. I'm really flustered, actually. Maybe I'll take that back. I can be embarrassed. Okay. Who am I going to marry out of Brady, Rodgers, and Odell Beckham
Yeah.
Jr. Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to go with this.
Right?
I think I'm going to
Maybe we
marry.
just save
I'm
this for
going to
your
marry
dad.
Tom
Maybe we
Brady.
save this for your dad.
Don't say this is my dad. He won't even know how to answer. I'm going to marry Tom Brady.
Okay, you marry?
He's handsome. He's rich. You know, he seems to be worldly. I feel like I could get along with him. He's going to be, then because he's marrying me, he's divorcing Giselle, so he's got extra money, right? So I'm living the life. I'm marrying Tom.
That's good.
Okay. Now to murder.
Why would you want to do that?
I don't want to murder any of these.
I know, right? Yeah.
I don't know if I can kill A-Rod or Odell Beckham
Yeah, why
Jr.
would you want to do that? But maybe because you've met DeAndre Hopkins so much lately, and you have that respect for him, that would be the only way to get him to elevate to the top receiver in the game is if Odell Beckham was no longer around.
Gosh.
I gave you an out right there if you just wanted to.
No, there is no out here. There's no way to do this. I'm actually thinking of maybe I shouldn't marry. Maybe I should have killed Brady instead of married him.
Okay,
I don't know where to go.
You can switch it. You can switch it.
But I don't really want to kill him either. I think he's a smart marrying choice on this one. All right. So I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go kill Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna apparently sleep with Odell Beckham Jr. Okay, that's where I'm going here.
We have it on record. You know, we could go.
I killed Aaron Rodgers because of my lust for him is so great. I just love him so much that it's like
the ones you
it was
love
a
the most.
jealousy murder.
Yes.
I was like, you're so great and awesome. I have to kill you. And Odell's cool and got style, and I don't even know. I can't believe I'm talking about this. I take this back. I can be embarrassed.
We won't. Yeah, that one was it. Okay, we'll ask your dad that one too. Okay, draft room pod.
Yeah.
This one we get back on track.
There's no getting back on track. I'm still thinking this in my head. I'm scarred.
Can you break down the Mike Leach air raid? This seems so tame.
Followed by murder, kill. Now we'll go to the air raid.
Can we break it down to some X's and O's? Okay, can you break down the Mike Leach air raid, and if you see Cliff being able to make it work with the talent that he has?
Yeah, I do think Cliff will be able to make it work, first of all. I mean, I just think Cliff is he's been around enough and had enough of time in the NFL to understand that game, I think, where he can bring different aspects to the air raid offense. The air raid offense, if I could break it down, you know, a lot like the run and shoot was back in the day. It's about shotgun. It's about attacking you a million different ways just through the pass game. There's no run game involved. Really, the run game is created through the short passing game and wide receiver screens and that. And the air raid is, of course, about being aggressive on offense in general. I mean, gosh, Leach, when I was in college and he was at Texas Tech with Cliff Kingsbury and Wes Welker, I mean, fourth down, it didn't matter if it was fourth or first down. I don't think it changed his thought process. He was going to be aggressive. He was going to continue to push forward with passing the ball and find unique concepts there. But I think generally that's how I kind of look at the air raid offense, and a passing offense that has a little bit of everything. And then has, the ability to go quick, put pressure on you with its pace, and then the ability to, replicate the run game through screen games in the pass game is really kind of the beauty of the air raid offense, I guess, if I had to sum it up.
So is it better to have the slot type, the Julian Edelman?
Gotta have
Shifty. I mean, how does Larry Fitzgerald fit into that whole mix?
Yeah, no, Larry Fitzgerald, I think, can do some of that. And he will be asked to do some of that. But I think that's a big reason you saw them draft the kid Andy Isabella from Massachusetts.
Sure.
He is a guy that is like a Wes Welker, a Julian Edelman, really fast, really quick. And I think he will be a guy that certainly has a huge role as far as the little jerk option routes. Their second-round pick last year, Christian Kirk out of Texas A&M, he's a similar guy, too, who can do some of that stuff. So I think they have a multitude of guys that can fill that role, which is always a good thing because then you can't peg one of them for that specific role.
Okay. Victorsi.
What up, Victorsi?
We all know that quarterbacks, you got to be smart to be a quarterback. You got to be football smart to be quarterback.
Right.
Victorsi asks, who is the dumbest great quarterback of all time?
Ooh.
So who wasn't maybe as bright as the other quarterbacks out there. Football savant, but maybe wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one. Dumbest great quarterback of all time. I want to put Phil Simms up there in that category, okay? He might be in the running there. Let me just think about some other ones, just great quarterbacks of all time. Vinny Testaverde? I'll throw him at there.
Sure.
Had a little bit of a meat-headedness to him a little bit. Had a reputation for throwing dumb interceptions, especially early on in his career. So I would throw him in probably that mix, okay? Yeah, I mean, Dan Marino, I know he didn't kill the Wonderlic, but again, that's where like brains and quarterbacks, I do think it's overrated a little bit. You know, as long as you're not like, you know, scoring 700 on your SATs or 600 or a single-digit Wonderlic test score.
Right.
I mean, anything really above 15 at quarterback position, I think a lot of teams would be like, okay, that's good. If he shows that he has got good football IQ, that's good enough there.
Well, look at Fitzpatrick, right? A Harvard guy, probably one of the smartest guys in the NFL, still makes some plays that you scratch your head.
I mean, has thrown some of the dumbest interceptions in football over the last 5 years. Exactly right. That was a great example by you. No.
Thank you.
I think that's exactly right. So you're right. It doesn't always mean about your college education or you scored a 40 on the Wonderlic. Great.
Yeah.
I could show you a lot of really smart quarterbacks who've thrown a lot of really dumb interceptions. So those would be ones that jump out to me. I don't know. I mean, hey, the way Big Ben handles himself sometimes, too, I would say he might be in that category, too. He's not dumb on the field again, but he's done some dumb crap and said some dumb crap.
Could be a Hall of Famer. Could be a Hall of Famer, but...
I mean... Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.